Between ISIS and Assad of Syria, there is nothing to choose. ISIS is a violently sadistic and barbarous cult that slaughters, tortures, rapes, burns alive, whips, mutilates, crucifies, and burns prisoners chained in a cage. Assad uses poison gas on his own citizens, his air force to bomb villages, calls in Russia and Iran to war on fellow Assyrians just to remain in power, regardless of cost, the devastation of his country, the death of hundreds of thousands, and the displacement of millions. Millions have been driven out of Syria, pushed to the limits of endurance, forced to flee. On the nightly news, we see vast streams of refugees and migrants wandering in hunger and shock towards Europe. And there's no reason to believe that until the civil war, which is a soft term for what's going on in Syria, is somehow concluded, that those columns will not lengthen, the numbers grow, and the suffering deepen and expand. There is no full answer to a horror of this scale unless the whole world were to unite and share anger in an effort to stop it. And that in this world, the world we actually have, is not going to happen. All that can be reasonably hoped is to mitigate it, to spare some out of so many, to take some from the edges and offer a home, to let conscience coupled with caution take a portion of the distressed, the young, old, and wounded, away from combat and off the path of their hopeless and homeless wandering. How many? Canada's new government settled in its campaign to become the new government on 25,000. They promised before Christmas, but now realize it will take longer. The Liberals have also, in their very first real decision, taken Canada completely out of the military mission against ISIS. That choice carries a burden. It demands a compensatory effort, something extra. If we do not contribute to the bloody business of trying to end the conflict from whence all this misery springs, then there is an added responsibility to more mitigate the suffering of those that are caught up in it. What form will that extra take? More money? Yes. A greater number of refugees to our shores? Perhaps. And one other thought. Perhaps this is just the issue which all parties could exempt from the partisan arena. Perhaps the numbers we take, the method by which they are processed, where it is determined in Canada they should be placed, could be the work of a whole parliament, a cooperative committee of all parties. After all, the settlement of refugees is essentially a work of public conscience. What better way to display that character than, for once, taking politics out of it all? For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.